And welcome to the latest edition of Cruzin With The Coaches, conversation with Julie and Lee. We are your co-hosts. We are the real deal. There's no substitutes here. We got to bring you the show every time. I'm your co-host, Lee. And let me get it right this time on the first time, other side. Julie, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Can't believe how cold it is. Like,
Oh, facts.
what is the, we're supposed to even get snow. Like here, we're supposed to have a snowier December than usual, and I'm not with that.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
already got snow here, so
I don't like that. No, no, there's a
yeah.
reason that we don't get snow here. It stays north and yeah.
Yep.
But
We already got some. So
that time of year, so it's all good. Um Question for you. Always got a question. But
Mhm.
this is show related, show related.
Okay.
Um you have children. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And you have adult children. Yes.
Yes. Soon to not have any more teenagers at the end of this year.
Wow, that's crazy. Just
Yeah,
hearing that,
that's
that's nuts.
really crazy.
You're like, yeah.
Yes.
Um, any of your adult children live with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, too much, too
Yeah.
long. No,
Yeah.
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 Well, then this show is for you, right? Now, um, my daughter's not quite an adult, but I look forward to that day. But also, like the topic we're going to talk about is adult children, right? Because this article, or not really article, but essay that I read was about a mother who, was getting kind of confused about what the role is like, right? As it's changing as her adult son moved home. So let's jump into some of the article here. This is by Katie M. Clark, and this is from BusinessInsider.com. And so she's dropping her son off one day, and her son says, "Who's paying for this?" Asked her 22-year-old son when she drove him to the mechanic to pick up his car for an oil change. You are, I said without hesitation. And so as she watched him walk off into the office after she dropped him off, she shook her head with confusion. Why had he asked her to pay? Or who was going to pay? It was his car, and he'd been working full time since graduating from college. And he'd moved back in the spring and moved back home. So that was her first question. Before we move on, I would have said the same thing. I wouldn't have had hesitation. Like, who's paying? Your car. You're working. I'm just giving you a ride to pick your car up. So,
Right.
um, any thoughts that you have before we move on with the
I
story?
mean, I think that honestly should have been a conversation before he's being dropped off at the mechanic to make sure that
I mean,
only because
true,
for
true.
me, like I have a relationship with my mechanic, so I'm not trying to drop my kid off and then
And your
them not
mechanic
even
calls you like, yo, like I can't let your kid's car
yeah,
go because
it's declined. So just say maybe I should have had that conversation before you dropped him off. Just
that's
but
fair.
but
That's
other
fair. Or,
but yeah.
or to because what if the kid goes up there and doesn't have the money, right?
Right,
So
right.
uh,
Right.
I'm gonna say let's assume that they knew what the cost was before she dropped him
Oh,
off, right? I
facts. Like
hope.
we
I hope.
usually have that
Yeah,
dialogue when the
you have
because
to.
the mechanic looks at it and calls and says, "Hey, I'm doing this, this, and this," and
If you
then
don't
you
have an
say
estimate, you're
yes
like,
or exactly. So like
yeah.
I'm already confused by her activity with him asking. Like the fact that he's even asking as he's being dropped off is
Like,
crazy to me.
well, that's okay. I'm glad it wasn't just me. I'm like, why is the kid asking?
Yeah, like that's
Like,
crazy.
you got a full time job. Why are you
Yeah,
asking? So,
yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, as she then started thinking about this, she was like, well, in the past, her and her husband had paid for car repairs, but he was in college and he wasn't working. So that makes sense to me, right? But then as she thought about it, um, he was still on their insurance as well. And then when he graduated college, he got an entry level job, and it just made financial sense for him to get his own insurance allowing him to, for them to be on their insurance, allowing him to save more money. But she'd never thought about the question of who was paying for the oil change, and it created some gray area for her to think about. So this is what she starts talking about. Her role was changing, right? Since her son had moved back home after graduation, she had been surprised by how confusing the role was as a parent. There were some days where she said they felt like roommates sharing a house. Her son comes and goes on his own schedule, and they go entire days without seeing each other. There were other, she said, it felt odd because he was still in his childhood bedroom, and I guess her expectation was that they would cross paths daily. But instead, sometimes all she sees is indirect evidence that he lives there, like a load of damp laundry abandoned in the dryer, or snacks that disappear from the pantry, as she says, with alarming speed. So, as an adult who's been an adult child who has lived at home, um, yeah, like what got me was the laundry and
Oh yeah,
the food.
yeah,
Like, granted, I lived at home, right? I did move back home, save money, all that, and I ended up creating like my own little apartment, if you will, down in the basement. Um, yes, came and went as I pleased with respect to, my folks,
time.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But um, I also paid rent, so there
See,
was that.
and there lies the difference. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
paying rent,
Mm-hmm.
that's a whole different ballpark because you are paying for the space that
Right.
yeah, so that's very different.
I
Now
mean,
if
it
you
was
have
nominal. It was a couple $100 a month, right? But
yeah,
still
yeah,
paying rent. Like that's the act of having your own place, you know?
right, right.
Yeah. And did my own laundry, by the way. Like just for the record, for those in the back who can't hear, I've been doing my own laundry since I was 11, by the way. So just for the record, own laundry since 11. But yeah, don't
So
you don't take the snacks, right? And you don't leave the laundry. Go ahead.
so they don't do the laundry in my house. I do the laundry for everybody. Only
Okay, well,
because for me it's that whole if someone does leave wet laundry and then it's like it throws off the whole
the whole
sequence of
schedule,
whatever.
right?
Yeah, yeah. So
So
it's
so
like,
that's your choice. That's your
yeah,
choice.
that's my
That's
choice.
fair.
I say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
guys, sort
Right.
your laundry. It's got to be
Leave it
down
here. Right.
on Sunday
We
and
got a
let it
schedule.
out. But if
Mm-hmm.
it's not down there, then they
Don't get
have to
done.
wash it themselves. Yeah, I'm not doing it, kind of a
I think
thing.
that's
So,
fair.
yeah.
I think that's fair. What about food? What about the food? It's
Um,
fair game for everybody, right? Or
yes and no. So I am a little bit of a stickler because I don't charge rent. The
okay,
thing with
that's fair.
me is they have chores just as they did when they have always had chores.
That's fair.
So when you don't do what I ask you to do, mom doesn't do what she's supposed to do either. So your honeycombs and all the other good stuff that doesn't just
Mm-mm.
magically appear in the cabinets.
Mm-mm. That costs money,
So
Jack.
yeah. So oh, you forgot to take out the trash. I forgot to pick up your mac and cheese. Yeah.
Hey, that's the choices, man. Choices, but I think that's fair, and I think we're on to something. But I'm not going to say it just yet. I'm not going to say it just
Yeah.
yet. Um, I'm with that though. Yeah, yeah. So then she goes on, right? She starts talking about there's other times where she started feeling like a peer of his. That they were a couple of adults in catching up on a long day of work, swapping stories about workplace shenanigans and discussing world events. And that's what she liked, engaging with her son in this capacity, sharing life as adults, right? She also said that her husband liked that aspect as well. Her husband actually added their son to their trivia night team at their local bar, and he just became another teammate. So then they would watch all the sports and all the things that you know your buddies would do. So I'll take this one, right? Because
Okay.
I just have something to say.
Yeah.
I I think that's cool as adult children. Like I think you can be friends, right? But that line starts to blur a little bit, and if you're too much of buddies, what happens when the adult child or the parent then reverts back to that original role of parent and or child, right? Like if the adult child is like, well, I thought you were going to do this because you're my dad or because you're my mom. Well, hold on, we're at the bar. You can pay for your own tab, right? Like we're teammates here, or whatever. What happens when those lines are that blurred? I don't know. That's my only question.
I think those lines are different with each child.
Mm,
So,
okay.
you'll learn where the cutoff is, whether it's you cut them off or they cut you off. It just happens. I can't explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I have what will be 26, 24, and 20.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when there's no longer that, I guess,
Teenage.
but no, the
Oh.
purse strings, because it usually is
Mm.
it's a financial thing. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Sure.
So when
Mm-hmm.
the purse strings are no longer a topic of conversation,
Mm-hmm.
then you understand that your child has it. You know what I'm
And the
saying?
dynamic changes after
and
that.
it
Okay.
changes on its own, so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
when you are catching lunch or they're catching dinner or catching
Mm-hmm.
whatever, it
Mm-hmm.
it just it just happens. And so you're no longer worried about, am I the parent, am I the friend? you're
Mm.
you're just
We're coexisting. We're
exactly
cohabitating, co-living in the same house, but they have their life and I do. But we're all here to. I get that.
correct,
I get that.
correct.
So that kind of leans into what I was going to say. I think what the the word that I come up with is boundaries, right? Or
Mhm,
expectations. That that can help with that role. Like as an adult child, again, who lived at home for a little while. Um,
mhm,
I think again, it was like, cool, you can live here. We know that you're working. We appreciate that. So we're not going to charge you, some crazy amount, but you can't live here for free, you know?
right, right.
And so that was an expectation and a conversation that we had. But then with that comes, cool, the freedom to come and go. Like I was paying my own car note. I paid the rent that they charged me.
Mhm,
We shared the food. There were times that, okay, if we order out, I'm paying for it. Right? Fine. But those are the boundaries and expectations have to be talked about, I think.
correct.
So that there's no confusion with that first question: who's paying for this, right?
Right,
Um, your
exactly.
car, your oil change, your bill.
Exactly.
that all fits together.
Exactly.
What's the question? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so let's take a break, and we'll come back and we can talk about the rest of how she looked at the role changing and what she thought about moving forward. And we can also give some insights again because you have adult children.
Mhm.
I'm no longer an adult child. I'm just an adult. But uh, we'll talk about that after the break. So stay right there. We'll be right back. And welcome back from the break. This is the latest edition of Cruising with the Coaches, a conversation with Julie and Lee. In the first segment, you heard us talking about a lady who wrote an article or an essay about her adult son. And he moved back in the roles. She was getting kind of confused about um, the parent role or just how things were fitting together, right? And we shared some insights about me living at home as an adult child and her adult children living at home. But hey, it all works. What we said before the break is like boundaries, right? The
Right.
boundaries and expectations. If you're kind of clear with those, the roles kind of sort themselves out, you know?
Correct. Yep.
So we'll move on with her article. No, that was the trivia night that she was talking about. So then, I think her name was Katie. She starts talking about there's times when she slipped back into full on parenting, right? So she nagged him a couple of months to make a doctor's appointment. Also, there was a day where she asked him if he needed toothpaste, and he said yes, so she bought it. And so, simple question from him, or she could ask a simple question like, "What's for dinner?" And she says that triggered an existential crisis. But of course, she was going to feed him. But then in her mind, didn't she pay her dues for making dinner for the family every night for the last 20 years? So I think that's a fair question. Before I go on to that, like what do you think about that, right? The whole she slipped right back into that full on parent mode. If he's not going to the doctor, why are you nagging him about it? You know? Uh oh.
Yeah.
Uh oh.
No, she and I are different moms. That's all I know.
I mean, you can't nag somebody about that.
No.
If they're grown, right?
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
15, 16, 17. He's 22.
Right.
So he's fully grown.
Yeah. And I'm
So
not going to ask if you have toothpaste.
if you don't, I'm gonna tell you your breath stink, but you might
Right.
need
I'm
some
not going to ask you.
toothpaste. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
no,
Yeah.
no. Yeah. I do have a picture of them at the end too that I'll share. Okay.
Okay.
I'll share a picture. It's a nice picture. I think they probably have fun with each other too. So all right. But so one of her friends said this to her that her and her husband sometimes eat over the sink now that their kids are grown and out of the house. And then she was like, well, that doesn't sound gourmet, but it sounded appealing because it was also liberating not to have the obligation to make dinner. And then the story that her friend told her started to make her question why she wasn't moving on to this next phase of her life yet. And so what she decided was it's not that living with her son is difficult, but being around her kid is fun. He's joy to be around, and she's figuring out that their lives intersect as adults in different ways while they live in the same house. She realizes that the stage is temporary, and then once she adjusts to this new normal, he'll probably be ready to move out. Then she'll miss him. She'll miss their chats over dinner, watching him grow into the man he's becoming, and she'll even miss the damp load of laundry in the dryer. Yeah, no, won't miss that. Um, that is, it was Katie, and that is her son, right?
Okay.
That is a
Yes.
picture of them.
Hmm.
So I think that's fair, right? She realized that okay, this is just temporary, and have to figure out like how this is fitting together while he lives here. Um, but I don't think they ever had that conversation that we're talking about. Like, what do I expect? What do you expect?
Right. And I think she's causing her own attachment issues. So, like,
Mm,
if, or was there ever a time when they lived like that? So, okay, if he's 22 years old,
mm-hmm,
so that's like my question is if he's 22 years old and he had left for college,
mm-hmm.
had you and your husband had an opportunity to even set into that lifestyle? Because all of a
Right.
sudden now he's come back and now it's like it's
It
back to whatever it was as a
4 or
family.
5 years ago, whatever it was. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. So all of a
yeah.
sudden now you're catering to this person who's for lack of a better word, invaded your household.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, but she's really honestly like kind of catering to it, because if you say, I'm not going to do these things and you should not expect it of me,
And then you
then
do them.
yeah.
It's a setup.
So
It's a
right,
setup. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
No wonder the kid had a question when she dropped him off at
Like,
the
who's paying
mechanic.
this?
No
and,
wonder.
and let's be honest, kids will try you. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? I mean, he might be
yeah.
just like, hey, I'm gonna see if she'll pay for it. You know, like
And if he got away with it, I'm not mad.
he
Like,
was gonna let it go.
save your money. Save your
Like
money.
cool. Like
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, mom.
But I think you're right. Like she might be making that situation right by slipping into that parent role. Like, oh, do you need toothpaste? Or, oh, did you make the doctor's appointment? Boy, you're
Right.
grown. Like,
Exactly.
when are you getting out? No, wait, maybe that was me. That's what I was being told. No, but and I can appreciate though her liking the adult interaction, right, with her son
Correct.
when they talk about work or they're, talking about what things going on. As I said, I remember, and I was telling you this in the break. When I was living at home, and this was the really dating myself here, but the Tyson Holyfield fight. Hey, it was pay per view. And I did ask, I was like, hey, you know what? I want to invite some friends over to watch the fight. Can I do that? And they were like, yeah. And I even asked my folks, do y'all want to watch it too? Right? So we were all watching the fight together and we all saw Tyson bite Holyfield's ear. So
Right.
there you go.
Right. Right.
But like that's an adult interaction, and I even think we were drinking. Like I mean, because we were old enough to, so it's not like anything was doing anything wrong.
Right.
But nothing crazy. But so yeah, that's not a blurred line. That was an expectation. I made sure it was cool with them, right? And it was just like three or four friends and the two of them, but it was fun, right?
Right.
You and I paid for everything. It wasn't like they paid for anything, so
Okay.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Um, I sure wish they would have paid for my mechanic bill. No, I'm kidding.
But again, I think it's having dialogue and having,
Mhm.
very set boundaries and making sure that that's understood. And then also, even as things progress and change, having another
Mhm.
conversation, and saying, okay, now we're in
Right.
this position, and now this is the case scenario has changed, and now this is what's going to happen, type of a
You're
thing.
making better money now. You
Exactly.
here's some apartments that you could look at. Here's a link to no, but that's also could be the next conversation.
Right.
We know you moved home to save money, so here's some other options, right? If you're not ready to move out, you need to contribute in a different way.
Right. Right.
And I can see here it's confusing for her too, where, like I said, my situation, I wasn't living in the room I grew up in, right? Like I
Hmm.
cleaned the basement out and made the basement like
It
my
made it
apartment.
yours. Yeah,
Yeah,
and you were paying rent,
and and
which makes
and
sense.
this kid lived in his childhood room, so
Hmm.
just the optics are going to kind of create some confusion. You're like, oh yeah, that's not my little kid, but that's my little kid. You know what I mean? Like that might
Right.
do that. Yeah,
Right. But so, like,
yeah,
even though my kids are in their rooms, we've had that conversation. Mom doesn't pay car notes. Mom doesn't pay car insurance. You can stay on
that's
my
right.
policy so that you have a pay break, but
Right.
like I don't do that.
Yep.
I don't pay for cell phones. Like these
Exactly.
are those are all privileges. These are not
Hmm.
things that are standard.
Because if they're necessary, I'll get you a basic phone. You
Right.
won't like it, but it's just for me to keep in touch with you. That's it.
Right.
There's
Right.
it won't be chat groups and right. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yes.
I do know some people who have kept their kids on their health insurance. And that's
Yes.
understandable too because that's a different situation. That's not
Again, up until what,
20
26?
I was going to say
I
25,
think it's
26, something like that.
26 now.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
26 now.
So even that's a different conversation too, right?
Right.
But like you
Right.
said, those basics once you become grown,
Right.
car if you have one, car insurance, and cell phone. I
Mhm.
think those things definitely have to be a conversation with your adult children if
Right.
they're staying at home. You know,
Right. And then they have to know, like, this is your new bill. Your new bill is coming to you.
might be the same address, but it has your name on it.
Exactly. I mean, and I think it,
Absolutely.
it sets them up so that they understand that everything in life isn't free. You're not just living through and things are just being taken care of for you. Now, like
Yep.
we do have the
Yep.
big joke around here, like, the dish fairy comes and takes care of things, and the toilet fairy comes and she takes care of the toilet. But
Does
like,
she leave? Does she leave gold coins? Does she
it's like
leave dollar bills? Like,
I'm like, God, you guys, what the hell?
I didn't realize I was doing a show with the dish fairy or the toilet fairy. Like, that's cool. Yeah.
But again, it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah. They'll
but
just slip up. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, here and there, it's just kind of like, okay, like, and again, you choose your battles too. Like, is
Right.
this worth
Right.
fighting over? It's
Right.
it's a
Right.
bowl and three spoons or whatever
And if
kind of
it's
a
every
thing.
now and again, it's not the norm. It's
Right.
just right. Well, and like I want to leave with this point, like, and you made it really clear. It sets them up for success when
Hmm.
they're ready to move out, which is
Right.
why I know my folks were like, "Cool, you got to pay rent, right?"
Hmm.
They weren't trying to break me. They weren't trying to take a whole paycheck like real rent does, right?
Right.
B-
Especially
But
nowadays.
man, but I had to get used to this is what working folks do. This is what
Right.
real life is like. So if you don't help set the expectation, then you're failing the adult kids for success when they're ready to move out. You know?
Right. Correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was a cute picture. Hopefully they've worked everything out, and hopefully he's moved out now. So there you go. Um,
And that's a struggle at 22 to move out on your own. I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
and it's kudos to the kid, by the way,
Hmm.
for realizing that moving home is going to save money. Right?
Right. Right.
I think it. I think that's smart. I gotta say this. I gotta share this because I was hell bent on moving out. I was hell bent on moving out. So when I had to move back, I was really hurt by that. But I always wanted to move out because my mom always said stuff like, "Well, this is my house, so my house, my rules," right? And I'm
Right.
sure you appreciate that. I'm sure you
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
So I couldn't wait to move out because, oh, my house, my rules, right?
Mhm.
And my mom joked about this to this, um, she would always when she would come over to visit,
Mhm.
when my grandmother would come to visit our house, and it was time for her to go, my mom would kind of escort her and kind of push her to the door
Okay.
and say, "Okay." So I got to be like, "Yeah, mom. Well, this is my house." And I was like, "It's time for you to go." I mean, we both cracked up about it, but it was
Right.
it was those little things. I couldn't wait to move to my own place to do. Like, this is my rules. I can do what I want. This is my house. You don't have to go.
Exactly.
You know. But
Exactly.
so gotta have some fun with it too, right?
Yeah.
What's the point if you don't? Life's too serious. Speaking of serious, well, not Sirius XM, but more like Spotify, right? That's where you can find us. Spotify, look at Live All Good podcast, search for the Cruising with the Coaches episodes. You can find us there. You can always come to our YouTube page. That's where all the episodes live. Might even find some funny clips. But please visit YouTube page and let us know. Let us know how you like the episodes. Let us know if your adult kids are still living at home and you're struggling with this. But if those aren't right, you go to Facebook. We got a Facebook page too, where you can see the clips, check out episodes there, and that's where we are on social media. So come visit us. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know that we're your favorite show. Until next time, Lee and Julie signing off.